I'm going to show a little bit about a August smart lock on a Dutch door. So here you can see it moves bind free after the installation. If you need to set it up, you can always push this cover in and get access to it. I had a challenge with the Dutch door. I had to add this piece here. The door had a little too much play in it between here and here. But I kind of fixed that by adding that middle piece in. So now the play is pretty minimal. And the last piece was this strike right here. A lot of people will remove the plate to make their smart bolts work, but that's kind of a security issue. So they make these plates with a smaller side piece. And then you can see there, it pretty much lines up. I just need to square up the holes a little bit. So to do that, you could just take a razor blade and just kind of push in on each of the corners, and then you can kind of just flake it out like that. And you don't really need much to take off the corner. And then also I marked the location for the DoorSense. They say just to follow the lock straight over, and then you can get to it. And then here's this little piece here. Push that out. And then this piece connects to the flush kit. Little round thing. Okay, I'll have to go find that. You take that, you put it on here. I couldn't find a bit that was the right size, so my plan is it's 5/8 is the size I need. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch to make a pretty good hole. And then I'm gonna come back with this cement bit. I'm pretty sure it's 5/8 because it's perfectly in between 1/2 inch and 3/4. So I'm guessing that is right around the size of what I need, around 5/8. So I'm hoping it fits. So I'll just drill the depth right here. And in the DoorSense instructions, it says that location is straight across from here on your door. So I put my finger here, opened the door, and made a little mark. I'm gonna go get my little cap piece, clean out my corners for my new strike plate, and then drill this hole out. And small update, I found the piece. After looking everywhere in the box, it's safely right here. So what you do is you peel off the sticky on this, and then this side has the little clasp on it, a little recess, and so with the bigger one, this just clips on here. I'm gonna chisel out my door frame for this plate with the X-Acto knife. Another thing you do is you can always put the screws in if yours is like way off, kind of snug it up so this plate doesn't move, kind of where you want it, and then you can outline the edges of this. But it's a cool little kit that came from Amazon. It's for smart locks. Has the strike plates, has like really long screws. You know, this isn't like a, I forget what they call it, category 1 office deadbolt or whatever, but they're pretty big compared to the standard strike plate screws, so good enough. That was some of the challenges with the Dutch door, and then it looks like I have enough clearance in here for anything that like slightly sticks out, so I don't need to worry about recessing it. But This is my main thing, is I had to get the play out of my Dutch door because there was so much of it in there that adding this really helped it, so that my door opens, and then when it closes it's snug, and the seal, the weather seal, is still really snug around this whole door. I was gonna do some adjustments that would have made the seal a lot weaker, and I don't want it leaking water, so I'm real happy with this result, that just taking out the strike plate allows that bolt to clear, even when you just kind of close the door. The bolt can clear. It's very close, but it clears. So I'm hoping when I add this plate in, it still holds it. Yeah, this plate's probably not the best for security either, so maybe my long screws are kind of a moot point. All right, I'm gonna get these things installed and then come back. Okay, got the edges all squared up for that plate. You just take it and you smush it in real good, this way, this way, this way, this way, and then you kind of pick out the edges, you know, after you get them, so that it's a really good outline. And mainly you want this to be pretty smooth down in here, so that if it does bind, it'll get over it pretty well. This will kind of act as a little bit of a catch to push the bolt over. But that's it, I'm ready to screw it in. One other thing, when you're using these mega screws, just kind of go flush and snug. Don't pull it too tight, because you might mess up your door jamb, depending on where you put shims or not. I remember this door took a lot of shimming. I had to call a handyman from one of those handyman apps, and he came out and shimmed the door up and got it all dialed in. So I don't want to pull these long screws too tight against the stud, because it'll pull the jamb away and change, like, I don't know, the reveal or whatever, all sorts of stuff that I don't want to deal with. Okay, I drilled part of the hole. Again, this is a 1/2 inch bit, so I'm gonna have to use this cement bit to get the last little bit out. But what I noticed is this hole here came out perfectly to the depth. You don't want to go off this, you want to go off this, because this is the part of the tool that's doing the work of making the reveal. This part is just for steadying the drill bit center, so you want to go off this drill part of the bit. If you had a bit like this, you'd probably go off of that edge right there. This is a cement bit, so don't have a bit like this. All right, so I got that in. I got the depth down to just past that hole. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed. I was wondering why there's not a video of this. It's because it's a pain and you don't want to mess up your door. All right, so I'm gonna put this larger bit in and remount the hole a little bit so that I can fit this piece in and take off this tape and get it complete. Okay, do not use a cement bit. That thing just kind of starred everywhere. Not the best idea, but there's another guy on YouTube said you could put some caulking around this. I will probably have to, given my hole is so big with that. This one, actually the smaller ones have the clips on them. So I take this, put this on, so that those parts come over. It's clipped on. The big one, the big ears are there on the sides, on the flat side. To hold it, I don't think the orientation matters. I'll put it side to side just so it doesn't play with the door. There it goes, snug fit. They say in the instructions you can put a piece of wood there or use a mallet. I'll just use the back of a hammer. There it is. Okay, I have it installed. That's actually pretty easy. I was really nervous about making a hole in my door. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna go back into my August app, click on the lock configuration. I think there's a DoorSense option when you go into the lock settings. You don't need to pull up the installation manual because that just tells you how to install this, but there's actually like a DoorSense calibration section, and that has like the install instructions for all this. And that's the part I'm gonna go through next to make this lock work. All right, and I just calibrated it. I went into the lock settings and went to DoorSense, and there, when I finished reading the installation manual, which is like a text link, down below is a button that says DoorSense calibration or door calibration. It had you open the lock, close the lock, open the lock, open the door, hit next, close the door, hit next, and then I think it had you close the door so it's slightly ajar. So I wanted to do it like to where my worst case ajar scenario is, and you can see it's like kind of like where it's not fully closed and you can still see daylight through it. Sometimes my door gets like this just from normal use, and this is what I wanted to calibrate my ajar position. I didn't want to do something like way out here, because honestly my door is never way out here. It's always like that. If somebody left it ajar, the wind could just blow it open, and so I want my notification to be when it's like this, if it's ajar. Yeah, and then calibrated it, ran some tests, and now I can do my default setting to auto lock it. After 15 minutes, I can have it so if me as an owner, I guess, is home or not home, it can auto lock or unlock or let me know, or I don't know, all kinds of stuff that's not quite there yet but close. Also noting on this one, I have the door pad on the outside, the keypad. It's wireless, and it just sticks on the back of the door, or you can put it on your building. So super handy. It's come a long way. Some earlier reviews talked about lagging with keypads. That is not this one. It's pretty responsive. The only problem I have with that keypad is when you put in the numbers, it'll double press or triple press the numbers sometimes too quick. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and comment if you have any tips. Use a 5/8 drill bit, one of these spade drill bits from Home Depot. Yeah, good luck.